Throughout the many parts of Ezio's life, we come across quite a lot of important figures that end up helping him out in carrying out his missions in different ways. But what if I told you there's only one single side character who somehow manages to appear in every single game of the Ezio trilogy? Not Leonardo da Vinci, not Machiavelli, not even Claudia Auditore, Ezio's sister. I'm talking about Duccio di Luca, a man who somehow survived Ezio Auditore's entire journey without learning a single lesson. Today, I'm breaking down who Duccio di Luca really is, where he appears in all three of these Ezio games, and why he might secretly be the most consistent character in the trilogy, even if it is for all the wrong reasons. Duccio di Luca is essentially Ezio's lifelong nuisance. He's not an assassin, he's not a Templar, and he has no grand ambitions. He just exists purely to insult people, get his ass beat, and somehow show up again years later like nothing ever happened. And what makes him special is this: he's the only side character to physically appear in AC2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. No reincarnations, no flashback scenes, no mentions of them by word. It's literally Duccio in the flesh. At first, this might sound somewhat surprising, but if you remember carefully, a lot of AC2's side characters were also involved in Ezio's life in Brotherhood. But then when we moved to AC Revelations, things sort of changed and Ubisoft decided to completely shift away from these side characters we knew so well, and instead decided to introduce us to a whole lot of new ones. But Duccio never leaves us. We first get to meet Duccio di Luca in Assassin's Creed 2 during Ezio's teenage years in Florence. Right away, we get to see Duccio establish himself as some guy who's arrogant, loud, and completely unaware of his surroundings. He publicly humiliates Ezio's sister Claudia, which leads to one of the most satisfying early moments in the game. Well, if you don't miss it. It's actually sort of like a quick time event, so if you accidentally miss the button, you don't actually get to do that little cheap shot and you don't get to hurt him. But don't worry, there's a big beating coming. Like bro, you really get to beat his ass here.
You Auditore, but when it bastardo!
And so you would think that this would be the end of it. You gave him the beating and told him to leave his sister alone. But because Duccio is just that kind of character who takes a punch, gets up, dusts himself off, and seems to think of himself as some sort of irresistible ladies man, things get to continue on into Brotherhood. Alright, so then we get to fast forward to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, years later. Here Rome is in chaos, the Borgia are in control, Ezio is rebuilding the Brotherhood. And Duccio? Now he's hanging around Rome, still being a loudmouth, still harassing women, and he's still acting like he's untouchable. You actually run into him during a side mission where you're looking for Leonardo da Vinci's paintings, and Duccio is one of those people that bought one of these stolen paintings. So definitely not through any valid sources. So once again you get to run into Duccio causing trouble, and once again Ezio has to step in and humble him immediately. What's funny is that by this point, Ezio is a master assassin, he's a legendary figure, and he's feared all across Italy. And Duccio still talks to him like he hasn't been beaten up by him with multiple punches in Florence. Dude, did he just forget that beating? Honestly, that commitment to stupidity is pretty impressive. This time, he has recruited some mercenaries that he brought with him, probably from his journey from Florence. But anyways, he recruits these guys and you essentially have to beat their asses while you're also trying to beat up Duccio. But come on man, you're Ezio Auditore, you're a master assassin bro. These guys are light work for you. And you take care of them and he eventually coughs up the location of where the painting might be. And so you can go find it, and that's all you see of Duccio in Brotherhood. But we're not done with Duccio just yet. Now we move on to AC Revelations. Here's where it gets really interesting. Like I said before, we get a whole new shift into new side characters. So naturally, you wouldn't really expect Duccio di Luca to be anywhere near this game. But somehow, some way, he has followed Ezio across continents. Now this dude is harassing Sofia, who's, come on, she's Ezio's girl. This guy's still involved in shady behavior, still disrespectful, still has no idea that he's just not attractive to these women. And he's completely unaware of his surroundings. But at least this time, he gives Ezio his respect. As soon as he sees him, he runs away. He knows he doesn't want another beating. This time he remembers the punches you gave him in the previous 2 games, and it's become clear to him now that he doesn't need to be anywhere near Ezio. You give Sophia some backstory to how you encountered him for the first time in AC2, and yeah, let's just say Ezio doesn't forget people like this.
Katsu was engaged to 6 others.
Ezio has evolved, the world has evolved, history has moved forward, and yet Duccio has remained exactly the same. By the way, did you know that you could technically kill him here? I guess Ubisoft just decided to give us full access to Duccio's body, and you can essentially beat him up, you can throw him around. He just sort of spawns. There's countless videos on YouTube of people just making the most of this opportunity. Okay, but why does Duccio really matter? On the surface, he's just a joke character, but he serves a subtle purpose. He's a constant reminder for us of Ezio's humble beginnings, the ordinary people who exist outside just assassins and Templars, and how far Ezio has actually come over the years. Every time Duccio shows up, you're reminded of who Ezio used to be and who he has become. Plus, let's be honest, there's something weirdly satisfying about a character who exists solely to be punched across 3 separate different games. So yeah, Duccio Di Luca isn't a hero, he isn't a villain either, and he definitely isn't important, but somehow he's the only side character who managed to appear in all the Ezio games, making him an accidental legend of the trilogy. So next time you replay the Ezio collection and see Duccio pop up again, remember, some characters are destined for greatness and others are just destined to get punched repeatedly for over 40 years. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps support this channel. And if you guys have any suggestions, any ideas of any videos you would like to see, let me know in the comments below. I'm always listening. This has been Hassassin here, and I hope I will see you all in the next video.